Myers was getting a bit fresh.
Yeah.
That AI bot's gone.
Someone gets shot to shit. Should I do my Halloween song now then? No.
Welcome to the Halloween edition of Horror Movies with TNA. Halloween monkey there. Any films you've watched recently?
Yes.
Talk about them.
All right. So I've watched Saw X.
Ah, okay. Much of the same, or?
No, it's a little bit different because he's the main geezer is in jeopardy for a bit and he's trying to get revenge, but he turns the tables. Yeah, much of a muchness. It's not one of the best, but then none of them are particularly great except for the first one, I guess.
I watched the first Omen, the new, not the first Omen, the classic.
Yep.
I thought it was okay. I mean, I do wonder why they and the fact they have to try and lead it up and end with the beginning kind of the first one. I'm not so keen. But I also watched Colour Me Blood Red, Herschel Gordon Lewis. You know, it is what it is. It's
terrible.
It's a terrible film, but it's kind of fun. But there's explosive periods of boredom in that film.
Thank God.
I watched, which leads us into this episode, I watched Halloween Ends, which I hadn't seen. Yeah, not great. I also watched...
Well, at least it did something different, but that's not an excuse for it just to be a very poor film.
Yeah, I wasn't overly keen on it, if I'm honest. I also watched, listen to this, Subspecies 1 and 2.
What the fuck?
Yeah, not great. A film I did watch, which I would recommend... When Evil Lurks, Argentinian horror. It's been quite well received. So I thought that was pretty good. And I watched Black Demon, which was dog shit.
That is the sharp one.
At the oil rig.
Yeah.
Not very good. I do not recommend it. But When Evil Lurks, I do recommend. So there you go.
I watched Late Mongo finally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, well, everyone, I guess, not raving about it. Just said there's a twist in it and all that. I may have got that bored that I didn't actually know what the twist was.
I think it's fine. I think it's okay.
Oh, no, again, I was watching Kung Fu movies again, which you were,
prohibited.
Are prohibited in this channel.
Anyway, that's the housekeeping. I don't think there's anything else. I did take an opportunity to watch a few other Halloween films this week, but we can talk about that when we cover the film that we're going to talk about today, which is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. This is a Halloween special coming to you live. Well, not live.
Yeah. We had a bit of a discussion on what the Halloween one should be, and last year it was Halloween 2.
Yes.
And at first we were going to go with Halloween 3, but because I'm a tight arse, I didn't want to pay to rent it.
Yeah, and Halloween 3, well, it's not Michael Myers. Halloween 3 strays away from the Michael Myers story, doesn't it? And it's not really available for free. So, whereas Halloween 4 is.
Quite ironic if you say 3 and 3, isn't it? Because it's not free.
Taglines. Horror has returned to Haddonfield. It's going to be one hell of a family reunion. And he's back. 10 years ago, he changed the face of Halloween as well. So those are...
I think He's Back was the best. I remember buying the LP before the film came out.
And, I suppose I should say, music is by Alan Howarth, who was obviously involved with the other soundtracks with John Carpenter, so yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not a bad version of the Halloween theme. I think the album's better than the film. I think I conjured better images in my head when I was listening to it months before the film came to the UK.
I read a mini review and it just said Alan Howarth returns. He's created a new score that references the original with a synth twist, although they're all synth. So I'm not fully understanding that. But anyway, that's what it said about the music.
Yeah, it's not a bad rendition. Halloween 3 music's really good, to be quite honest.
Yes, it is. Halloween 4 was from 1988. I had a quick look, as I do every so often, at other films that came out in that year. We've got Pumpkinhead, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. We've got the Blob remake.
I haven't seen the Blob remake for years.
Friday the 13th, 7. You see, the Friday...
7?
The Friday
Bloody
the 13th films just kept coming out. There wasn't a break like these.
Yeah.
Maniac Cop, Hellraiser 2, Zombie 3. So that gives you a flavour of what was out at that time.
Bit of a mix.
I think it said also that They Live was out at the same time, which is a great film.
Classic,
yes,
yeah.
Great film. So, yeah.
Okay, so generally Halloween 4 carries on, but 10 years later from the end of Halloween 2.
Yes, and it was directed by Dwight H. Little, who brought us Phantom of the Opera. I suppose that's with Robert Englund.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Marked for Death, Bloodstone, film written by Nico Masterakis as well, which I always find interesting because he's the guy that gave us Island of Death, the infamous Island of Death. We've got, starring in the film, Sam Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance, Rachel Carruthers, played by Ellie Cornell, who was also in Halloween 5, Jamie Lloyd, played by Danielle Harris, which is the young girl.
And she's, to be honest, she's the best thing in this thing.
Yes.
There's a couple of times where her acting maybe isn't as good as it could, but leave her alone, she's a kid.
Yeah, Halloween 4 she's in, Halloween 5 she returns, she was in Urban Legend, she was in the 2007 Halloween, Hatchet 2, so she really became a bit of a scream queen. I've also got, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Was she?
Yeah, well, I've not seen that film, so I can't comment. And she was in Laid to Rest 2 as well. Michael Myers was played by Tom Morga and George P. Wilbur, who were both kind of stuntmen. I think Tom Morga was in... He was the only... Actually, this is interesting. And you can moan all you like, but this is incredibly interesting.
I've already moaned.
The only man to have ever played Michael
and
Leatherface
and
Jason. Dr. Hoffman, played by Michael Pataki. He was in Dead and Buried, Easy Rider, Graduation Day, and a couple of 70s Spider-Man films. You know, they're made-for-TV ones.
Yeah.
That are great. Sheriff Meeker, played by Bo Starr, who returned in Halloween 5. Kelly Meeker, played by Kathleen Kinmont. She was also Bride of Reanimator.
Oh, shit.
Yes. And then Brady, Sasha Jensen, was in Ghoulies 2. I'm not going through the whole cast.
No, it just felt you fucking dead. Jesus Christ.
It's nice to give these people credit. Before we start this, when I read about Halloween 4, it talks about Laurie having died in a traffic accident. But I don't think it gets mentioned in the film at any point.
No,
I think it just says
she's dead.
Yeah. So anyway, but everywhere I read it said, it said. Anyway, let's begin the film. Let us begin Halloween 4, October 88. We start with farmland.
Yeah, there's a lot of farmland. I'll be honest, I guess it's meant to be somewhere in Haddonfield or whatever near it. I think it's an ace start. There's no music on it. It's just the noise.
Silence.
It's great.
I quite liked it. It was silence along with Halloween paraphernalia shit on people's houses, kind of farmland. And not a terrible couple of minutes. I quite like it during the credits. Then
atmospheric start, at least.
That silence, I thought, worked quite well. Because you were probably expecting the synth to start straight away.
Yeah, because the other two just went straight into it, or had a little bit of a thing and then straight into it. But this, a different start.
Rainy night. And the ominous synth starts as an ambulance travels to pick Michael up from Ridgemont Federal Sanitarium. The security guard's acting, Raymond O'Connor. His acting was terrible.
Let's be honest, his main job was to just give a recap of what had gone off in Halloween 1 and 2.
Yes.
No one gives a shiny shit.
Well, I think most people know what happened.
Yeah, exactly. You don't watch, Halloween 4. Is that like Richard III? What the fuck? It's not. Anyway.
Yes. We get to see a patient who's a textbook patient. As they wander through the sanitarium, we get to see a guy with kind of crazy hair and foaming mouth, wild eyes. And one of the guys picking Michael up says, Jesus. And the guard says, Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this
place. I've got exactly the same quote. What a load of bollocks. So he's not... The dialogue in general is balls.
This is where...
having said that, the dialogue in the first and second one isn't great, but it's done with a sort of... it's over the topness that you kind of get. This...
I think the bad acting and dialogue, for some reason, I don't know whether it's the way it's directed, it's got that 80s feel, it just stands out a little bit more. This is where society dumps its worst nightmares and then gives me the willies, somebody says. So there you go. We hear a little of we hear a little of what's happened to him. Killed 16, so it has that recap, like you said,
I just put, thanks to the recap, security guard, now shut up.
Michael's fully bandaged.
Yeah, so he's not dead, but I'm going to do the recap now. End of the last one, 10 years ago, burnt to buggery, Loomis was blown to buggery as well. However, Michael's still alive, bit burnt.
I thought he seemed fairly okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Hoffman signs Michael out. He mentions Loomis and he says, I hope he's either transferred, retired, or he's died, which I thought was a little bit harsh, really, but there you go. As they wheel a strapped down Michael, the synth really starts.
The Halloween theme, as they're pushing him outside, kicks in, and I just thought, well, I like to hear the music. This isn't the right place.
Yes, it's not really tensed. It's just them wheeling him out. I say synth. The music seems slightly orchestral as well, which I did not like.
Not in the right place and not their best rendition is generally what we're saying, so well done.
Anyway, the ambulance crew transfer Michael. The crew mention Michael having a niece, so again, they try and filter in bits of the story.
Michael's like docile and not moved at all until, he's got a niece, one of them mentions. You see him clench his fist.
Oh, yeah. Then Michael grabs one of the crew, smashes his head, and then puts his thumb on his forehead and kind of gives it a good old squidge.
Well, yeah, you see it. Well, you don't really see it go in, but they've done some prosthetics around his head to make it go in. It's a very bloodless film, except for one bit.
The other Halloween films up to this point haven't exactly been gory. Well, a little bit more.
Was a bit more.
A little bit more. So we don't necessarily need the gore, but
no.
I think this one probably, it seemed like it missed that a little bit because it...
Yeah, it was unusual.
So Michael awakens, he kills one of the crew. We never see what happens to the other members of the crew. It then cuts away.
No. Generally, Michael thumbs it into one of the blokes.
Yes, he thumbs him to death. So, let's check in with Michael's niece, Jamie. So this is Laurie Strode's daughter.
I wonder why she was called Jamie.
She's comforted by Rachel Carruthers. The Carruthers have taken Jamie into their house after the death of the mum. She has recurring nightmares about the boogeyman. Generally, the nightmares and those flashbacks aren't, well, in my opinion, not that great. But
is that where he suddenly gets up with a big white mask?
I mean, there's flashing.
In the mirror.
Yeah, there's lots of flashing of lightning. I mean, sometimes it's blatantly obvious in this film. Michael's just kind of stood there, but with this one, it's kind of, you catch glimpses of him in mirrors, and it's the normal thing. You kind of see him in the background. We see actually Jamie looking at a photo of her mum that she leaves out that I think Michael finds later on,
which is like a still from the Halloween film.
she had like
I've got a still from the motion picture Halloween here.
Yeah, I think Jamie had press cuttings and things, so she was just looking at those. For some reason, Michael's now hiding under beds because Michael grabs Jamie from under the bed. These are all, of course, nightmares. Dull ones, I put. Not very interesting.
Yeah.
And then the Carruthers find Jamie in hysterics in the wardrobe. That kind of sets up where Jamie is, and her recovery is slow from the trauma. Haddonfield, Halloween. Babysitter cancels for the Carruthers, so Rachel has to do it. And Rachel is meant to be, I suppose, our Laurie, because Jamie Lee Curtis didn't want to come back for this film because she was doing Fish Called Wanda. So she has to babysit Jamie, so she has to cancel her date with Brady.
The dog's called Sunday, though.
Yeah. Sundae.
Sunday. No, mate. It's fucking Wednesday.
Well, that's the confusion. It's like if you call your cat dog or your dog cat. You know, it's just crazy stuff.
Sets the wrong precedent.
Though. We get to see the family dog, Sunday, as you said. Although I think we see the dog later after it's had a visit from Myers. Jesus, it's bad. I thought they reused the dead dog from the gate. A callback to one of our previous episodes, because the dead dog's fucking I don't think they could have made a dog look any different had they tried. But anyway, there you go.
Well, I'll tell you what, they do look different when they're dead. Hey.
Sobering for their...
Any other Sunday, I'd agree with you. Hey, do you like that?
Loomis, I think this is the first time we see Loomis. He pays Dr. Hoffman a visit.
Oh, and Loomis, given that he was blown to bollocks in the last one 10 years ago, tiny little scar on his face.
He's got terrible facial scarring.
Oh, no. He's done well.
Throughout the film, Donald does well with a script that isn't great. He spends most of the film saying things like, he's not a man, he's an evil force. Or, he's evil on two legs. He's an unstoppable evil force. Hoffman and Loomis get called to an incident that's happened, and this is where they discover the overturned ambulance, where they mention a possible 4 bodies. Obviously, we only saw one person dead, and they realise that Michael's body is nowhere to be found. He's gone, escaped. He's evil.
It's uninteresting so far, isn't it? I thought, something like a fake jump scare. You know, when he goes into the water, there's something might pop out the back of the thing. You know, you made the effort, Donald. He's getting on a bit, looking into the back of the thing, and I thought, something could just suddenly drop. Absolutely fuck all.
It feels like filler. I definitely don't think it was meant to be filler. The whole journey of Loomis from go all the way to Haddonfield when he was making his journey there was
what a dog dirt. We'll wait till the next bit and then I'll elaborate on why I think there's parallels with the reboot.
On his way to Haddonfield, Loomis stopped at a gas station.
This bit, I tell you what, this bit ain't bad.
We've just seen a heavily bandaged Mike impale a mechanic because we see it a little bit before Loomis arrives, and we've seen, and I don't mention that too much because it's pretty disinterested. He basically gets impaled on a metal spike when the guy wheels himself from under a car. Loomis rocks up, and the chained body of the mechanic drops down. Again, Michael has found an elaborate way of dispatching the victim because, I mean, let's not question it too much, but he's obviously chained him up in the air.
Yeah, he likes to hang people up, but he did that in the first one. He likes to present.
Yes, he presents.
Here you go, this is what I did earlier.
Loomis bursts into the adjoining diner. The diner worker is dead. We didn't see that kill. And all the phone lines are cut. Again, Mike's done a pretty thorough job of presenting and preparing the scene. Loomis confronts Michael. Leave these people in peace. Take me. And all that kind of jibber jabber.
Then shoots him.
And then he shoots.
Shoots towards him for some reason.
God damn you. Music kicks in again. Mike steals a truck. Everything goes up in flames.
Well, yeah, he tries to... Well, he doesn't really try. He just drives and Donald meanders out of the way. What's very fluky is he hits sort of the telephone wire.
Well, it looks up at the telephone wires and I was thinking, why is it showing us that?
So there's no communication now to the fucking town or whatever.
But he's already cut the phone lines.
But just for the gas station. But now he's fucking destroyed it for the entire town. But by virtue of him knocking the entire pole down,
okay.
Whatever town he was going towards now has no old school telecommunication.
Oh, right. Okay, I understand what you mean. It's cut out all the lines for the whole town.
Yeah. And
because then we have the power station where it all gets cut out.
Which, if you think about it, that bit makes no fucking sense.
Well, it makes no sense.
Now it does now.
And actually, it doesn't focus on that much anyway. We'll get to that later on.
No, it doesn't. But the point is, maybe the writer thought, why are these people not just bringing in the fucking army, navy and every fucker? All right, I'll just cut all power, all communication from the place.
They're isolated from everything.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
They didn't need to bother with this in the first second because generally no one gave a shit.
They've got no means of communicating with the outside world and they've got an unstoppable evil force. I did make a note that we do see Donald diving into some trash cans. He was 69 when he made this film. So I thought that was impressive, albeit it's obviously not him, but I thought that was quite good. So Michael drives off in some kind of pickup truck, and that's it. Mm. Jamie, we see her at school. There's a few slow-mos in this film which are terribly ineffective when she's being chased by bullies.
Yeah, it doesn't help her acting in that point because she's meant to be crying, and for some reason in this scene she doesn't do it very well. at all.
To say again, she isn't. She does an admirable job.
Oh no, she's really good.
Rachel takes Jamie for ice cream and to get a Halloween costume. It's the store where Rachel's boyfriend works, Brady. Jamie peruses the various masks, and we can see a Halloween mask in the background, because you have to remember, up to this point, Michael hasn't got the Halloween mask. He's still bandaged.
But he has had to go to the garage to get the one.
He's got the overalls, to the standard overalls. So anyway, they're perusing all the costumes, and then Jamie picks a clown costume, which is reminiscent of the Halloween 78 the original, costume.
Yeah.
Mike steals his mask at this point, and Jamie gets a fright in the mirror. And again, this is a slow-mo bit, and again, I think it was really ineffective.
Yeah, rather than this be a dream, it must have actually happened. And if the old purpose was he wanted to kill her, could have fucking just done it then. Now, I know that's not, again, I've got to suspend my disbelief, but the point is, if he must have got a mask, so I guess this wasn't a dream, therefore he was in the same place, she was by herself, just got the job done. Anyway.
30 minutes in, Loomis is waiting for a lift, and he grabs a lift with the Reverend Jackson. You didn't like this bit. I didn't mind this bit, but maybe I'd lost interest.
Well, the whole idea is that they're talking. He's a loony priest ranting about evil and, God and that. And obviously the comparisons are there that Loomis rants about evil and all that.
They're both hunting something evil, damnation. So there are parallels. I'll give a shout out because the Reverend Jackson was played by Carmen Philby. He was in Beetlejuice, Alligator 2, Ice Pirates, Escape from New York, Bates Motel, and The Garden of the Dead, which I've never heard of, and I assume is absolutely fucking awful. But
Ice Pirates, I remember quite liking that many years ago. I haven't seen that for years.
Shout out to the Reverend Jackson. The Carruthers go out for their evening, leaving Rachel babysitting Jamie home alone. I think this is the first time where the camera tries to take on a bit of a first person. Michael hiding in some bushes. Yeah, that's
weird, isn't it? Because most of a big chunk of the first one was that. And then in this one, it's not got the same aesthetic of the first and second one at all. It's like you can tell the director's totally different.
And that's, I think, one of my problems. I think they show Michael too much and they don't show it from his point of view enough because they just kind of show him just monging around.
Maybe they thought, because it is 10 years late, maybe they thought, well, we've overused that too much in Friday the 13th and all the rest of the copying one, so we won't do it anymore.
Well, Michael's older and he's become more confident. He's just standing out in the middle of nowhere.
Mike is a weird boxy shape. He's like a box. He looks like he's got a cardboard box on with two tiny arms hanging down and thin legs. And we will cover that because I've got a similar opinion. This is my tiny picture
of Michael Myers.
Boxy. He's a bit of a chunky chap.
He's a bit of a clot, but anyway. So we've got these first-person views that are reminiscent of the first couple of films, where he's kind of peering out of bushes and peering through windows. Jamie and Rachel go trick-or-treating. Mike has then gone into the Carruthers house and finds the photos that Jamie left out of Laurie and also of him younger dressed as a clown.
I know, this is bollocks. I mean, the whole idea is he doesn't tend to read or look at stuff. Why? He already knows what he's doing. Why does he need to pick up a photo and go, oh, yeah, that's what I'm doing?
It just confirms he's in the right place.
Get fucked.
He's on the right line. Loomis...
So he reinvigorated himself and he goes... Oh, yeah, I fought for that because I wasn't sure.
No, this was properly, the bloodlust was there.
Should have given thumbs up because you saw his hands picking it up and he'd just gone like this. Yeah.
Loomis tries to convince the local police force of the impending disaster. And of course, they don't believe him at first, but it doesn't take long for them to be persuaded.
Well, that's true. About 2 minutes.
Yeah. Trick-or-treating. We catch a glimpse of Michael, not at all subtle, and Rachel and Jamie knock at Kelly's door, which is the other girl that works in the store. So I didn't mention that before because I can't be arsed.
Oh, no. But, having said that, we should go back to when she's in the store and one of the guys comes up to her and it's Chinese chat
up lines.
Yeah. Her comeback, fuck off, Wade.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
Brady's friend has a go at trying to chat up Kelly.
Fuck off, Wade. And he goes, oh.
She's obviously only got eyes for Brady, to be honest, and obviously that's Rachel's boyfriend. So they knock on the door, trick-or-treating, and it upsets Rachel because she sees that Brady's already round Kelly's house. Kelly Meeker, I should add, is also the daughter of the local police sheriff. And they end up being holed up in that house later on. But we'll cover that later. This is all boyfriend-girlfriend melodrama that I can't be arsed with. But I suppose it kind of sets the scene, you know.
And there's a bit of rudeness as well, isn't there?
There's a little bit of randy teenagers.
Brady and Kelly.
Local bar. I mean, this is where we draw parallels to Halloween Kills, I suppose. Local bar. Locals whip up a lynch mob to help track down the boogeyman.
Right. The reboot, I think, but Halloween and Halloween Kills it. But if you think about it, the reboot of Halloween, the main thing that happens, he gets transferred. In this. The next thing that happens is he goes to a garage to get his kit. He goes to a garage to get his kit in this. And then Halloween Kills, there's a big redneck lynch mob, same in this.
Yeah.
So the Halloween and Halloween Kills must have gone, Halloween 4 had quite a good plot. Film was shit, but it had quite a good plot. So we'll nick that.
And make a better job of it.
Yeah.
Sheriff Meeker and Loomis return to the Carruthers house where they discover Sunday, and this is the dog that has been murdered by Michael. Like I've already said, I'm not sure it's the same dog. Well, obviously it's not.
No.
A incredibly bad dog.
Oh, Sunday.
Another kill now. Michael takes out the town's power. He visits a local power station and throws an engineer, electrocuting him. Another lightweight kill.
I'll get a random bloke that seems to be working at night in a tiny power station and chuck him into the Transformers.
Yes, it's elaborate and
Bullshit.
Unnecessary.
Yes, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Because at this point, the mask is far too white and it's a big white face.
Well, yeah, again, the 4th, 5th and the 6th, it's not quite the same mask.
No.
Whatever they try. Even in the second one, it wasn't quite the same. Still better, but not
all they
quite
needed to
the
do
same.
was make it slightly dirtier.
Or something. Well, he got a brand new one, so I suppose that's the idea.
Yeah.
But they managed it in the reboots to get it more like... I think it didn't look like it. Never mind what colour it was. It just didn't...
Yeah,
way it
didn't look quite right.
Yeah, anyway.
Trick-or-treating, we're back with Rachel and Jamie. I think this is meant to have been tense. Jamie and Rachel become separated and Rachel is chased by Michael. The smoke-filled streets kind of reminded me of Elm Street. Again, she's being chased by Michael. Multiple Myers turn out to be a number of kids playing a prank. They nearly get shot as well when Loomis and the sheriff turn up, so they're playing a joke in bad taste. They return to the police station where they find Michael has already been through there and killed a lot of people. There's a little bit of blood where they show a body on the floor with what appears to be an arm stump.
Yeah.
Loomis says something about, he isn't a man, we're dealing with evil or something. Then the mob turn up. They're hunting Myers. They want blood. The mob think they spot Mike, but shoot Ted Hollister.
Well, they shoot the shit out of a bush, and then they go, "Oh, it's Ted Hollister."
They don't even show a body. They could have just had a body there, but
well, I guess we don't even know who the fuck that is.
No, it means nothing to us.
Yeah, someone gets shot to shit. It's filling time, isn't it, I guess?
Brady and Kelly Meeker are fooling around in an electric scene. And then the sheriff returns home along with Loomis, Jamie and Rachel, and they lock everything down in preparation for the final battle. Brady is in the attic. He gets sent up to the attic to kind of start nailing doors down. So they're basically just preparing themselves.
I suppose this bit is a little bit different to the other films. Yeah, they're all together rather than all being separate, and so that's a bit different.
Yeah, they're kind of barricading themselves in, waiting for Myers. And we can see in various shots that Michael's managed to get into the house because we kind of see his white face in the background, but nobody else spots it. So it tries to build a bit of tension. I'm not sure it's 100% effective, but that's what it's trying to do. Rachel talks to a deputy and we can see Michael in the darkness, which is okay. And then when the deputy turns around, he's gone. Loomis decides to leave the house, however, and I've written this. The deputy asks, "Where are you going?" "The Carruthers house." "Leave it to the state police. The state police won't know how to stop him." "Do you?" "Maybe nobody knows how to stop him."
but I've got to try some bollocks.
He says it, maybe nobody knows how to stop him.
I did think, is he going to come up with some long-winded thing? Why is he fucking off now? Oh, yes, because otherwise he'd confront Mikey too early, so...
So just to recap, Sheriff, Rachel, Kelly, Brady, Jamie and the deputy are in the Meeker's house. Loomis has gone to the Carruthers house.
He's decided to foot ride off for no real fucking reason.
Rachel and Kelly have a spat that I was emotionally invested in. Couldn't give it any less of this shit. It results in Rachel throwing coffee over Kelly. Let's move on.
Yeah, pointless.
Yeah, and then the sheriff leaves as well to try and sort out the mob. He gets a radio message, and the one thing he shouldn't have done is leave the house, but he decides to.
None of the Halloween films, one or two, aren't without their contrivances, but fuck me. The electricity out, that you don't have to explain. If you do it in such a way that it doesn't fucking matter whether the lights are on or off, or electricity's on or off, or people leaving there. I mean, you brought them all together and then you go, well, how do I get rid of the fuckers now? Yeah.
Michael's in the house. Oh, no.
You said that as well,
Yeah.
didn't
Okay, Kelly's made some tea. She offers some to the deputy, Logan. This isn't the deputy she's horrified to discover. And we see that the deputy's in the corner of the room, which we see again in a minute, which I'll mention, with a bit of blood round his mouth. And it's actually Michael. Michael does his signature lifting somebody off the floor with a shotgun.
Yeah, so he's impersonating the cop, which you could go, why is he doing that? Let's not get into that, because in the first one he's got a fucking white blanket on his head with glasses. So everyone's always said...
He makes the effort.
Why is it reminds me... Yeah, he likes scaring people as well. You could say, well, he's got a shotgun, why didn't he shoot her? Nah, would be boring. So this bit's okay, but absolutely bloodless.
Yeah,
and there's no him looking at her, which again could have been a copy, but it's weirdly inert is the best way. I just went, oh.
Yeah, he lifts her off the floor and puts the shotgun through her and kind of suspends her off the wall. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's unusually bland.
Rachel finds the deputy, Logan's body. George Sullivan, who plays the deputy, he kind of puts his arm round the back of his head as if to suggest he's been torn into pieces. I don't know why. I just found that really stuck in my mind. It looked really weird. If you want to check out any more of George Sullivan's work, you can see him in Stephen Baldwin's Absence of the Good from 1999. Not great, but made me smile. She finds Kelly as well, obviously impaled to the wall. Rachel goes upstairs, shouting for Jamie. She meets Brady on the stairs. Jamie is there. Then Michael appears as well. He seems to be walking like he's messed himself. Brady battles with Myers, which is ineffective.
Yeah, this is where I've said Brady's being a great, in inverted commas, hero. Fucking doctor. I mean, well, he's not. I mean, I don't know. Is this bit meant to be atmospheric? Because is there lightning going off or some kind of...
There's the light streaming through a window. They're on a kind of stairway. And Michael does battle with Brady, who's quite ineffective. I think it is meant to be quite dramatic. It doesn't quite hit the mark.
And he picks him up and it's a neck snap, but we don't even get to see the neck snap for some reason. He just sort of picks him up and by the neck and there you go.
Brady was, if I'm honest, he was kind of wasting my time throughout. I thought we might get some payback with the kill because he'd kind of two-time Rachel at least, but we got nothing.
No.
Michael chases Rachel and Jamie into the attic. He's grabbed his knife as well, his signature kind of knife from the kitchen. They climb out onto the roof. This whole roof bit tested my patience.
Yeah, which could have been a good bit. Again, this replicates a bit of the reboot where Laurie's on the roof clambering around, then she falls off and all this lot. But this could have been a lot better because it's a good idea. But why would you put? I've got a small window I've got to get out. Why don't you get on my back, make it more fucking awkward for me as I try and clamber on her? Jamie's not fucking 2-year-old, is she?
She could have cried.
Yeah, just get out. You tell you what, you get out the window, I'll follow you. You know what if Rach, you're going to get killed by me.
Well, I must say, though, it was a good plan to go out under the roof because the actor playing Michael seemed ill-equipped to walk on that roof anyway.
Well, yeah, he was ill-equipped, except when he got over the other side and they just stomped over to her and they went, oh, yeah. I tell you, he gets down really fucking quick, though, don't he?
Oh, he does, yes.
Yeah,
that where he defies the laws of physics, I think. Jamie and Rachel end up hanging and falling off the roof anyway.
Yeah, Rach ends up looking like she's dead, doesn't she? She lands
She
badly.
does.
And then Mike turns up out of fucking nowhere, seems to have, even though he didn't fall off the roof, he's already at the bottom going, you're right.
He's
Having said that, he does that in the other films, doesn't he, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, if you
Not
questioned,
blatantly.
if you questioned everything, but this one did seem like really, really like, how the fuck has he done that?
Because there's multiple of them, like in Scream.
On the sign, as people drive into Haddonfield, it says the home of the Huskers. I don't know if that's a team or what that is. I haven't looked.
Well, it's a made-up place anyway.
If anybody can, well, I wonder if that's I'm wondering if anybody can tell us who the Huskers are. If it's like a ice hockey team. I'm interested.
Well, it probably would be, but it's. I don't believe
made up.
Haddonfield. You got me saying it. Fucking Haddonfield is a real place, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Again, Ghost would say something here, but you can't be asked.
It is a place south.
What?
Coast.
That's not fucking Ghost, is it?
Michael chases Jamie. She runs away, and Loomis grabs her and takes her to Haddonfield School.
What the fuck is this bit about?
Loomis gets thrown through a door when Michael turns up.
Stop that point. So just as he grabs him and throws him through a window, it's quite a famous still. For some reason, he's got a fuzzy felt wig on. Yeah, but look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a bit just as he's about to chicken through the window. We're now looking, because this is really good podcast. Yeah, we should put it up.
We'll put the photo on.
Yeah.
Well, I think instead of William Shatner, they went for Rutger Hauer from Blade Runner or something.
What the fuck has gone off there? Well, for some reason, for just a millisecond, they went, it'll be all right.
Yeah, Michael grabs Jamie and then Rachel sprays him with an extinguisher. They escape out of the school and get then grabbed by the mob who whisk them away. Rachel covers. Jamie are in the pickup, escaping away from Michael. There are a couple of the mob on the back of the pickup. All of a sudden, Michael climbs onto the truck. They should have almost just had him appear on the back of the truck, but instead they kind of showed him clambering up, which maybe it's meant to show a bit of realism as he struggles to get onto it. It didn't come across as that. It didn't
bother before, though,
no, it didn't. It didn't work. It just looked a bit clumsy.
I tell you what, with the music on this as well. I mean, in the first and the second one, John Carpenter knows if the film's not working, you put a bit of a spike of like, but like he's even called it. Sometimes when it's not working, I put a bit of a spike or a sound that will shock you, even if the film doesn't do it. What they could have done, like you say, it is he doesn't need to climb up. He suddenly appears and they go.
Yeah, I think it's more effective.
He's had to do. He said in The Fog, without the music, it doesn't work at all. Then he put the music in, and well, it does because it's fucking nice.
The rest is history.
Well, same with Halloween. He even said that. He said without the music, it doesn't really work. Which I would say not necessarily with Halloween.
I think the thing is you can't really separate one from the other.
No, not now. But, yeah, but he does remember playing it to people without the music, and he going, "Oh bollocks!"
He didn't get the same reaction.
No.
So Michael's jumped onto the back of the pickup truck with the mob. Two of the guys get stabbed, and then one gets thrown off as well.
Yeah, again. Nothing. It's just more like a bit of a tussle.
Well, the only bit I will say now is then Michael climbs round the truck, and this is the goriest bit.
This is the goriest bit. And again, I'm not saying, great. I'm just thinking it's out of place for the rest.
And to be honest, in this film, it actually needed it properly in a way.
Yeah.
So he grabs through the driver's window and tears the driver's neck open.
Actually, it is quite properly gory. I mean, in general, not just in comparison to the rest of the film, it is quite gory anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's out of place in this film anyway.
Yeah.
Rachel grabs the wheel and actually kicks the driver out with Miles clinging at this point to the side and then to the roof. She tries to shake him off. It is actually quite funny as well when she applies the brakes and Michael's head slams against the windscreen. I don't know if it's actually an actor. I think it's a dummy or something, but it was quite funny, I thought. She slams on the brakes and Myers goes flying.
Arse over tit, I believe it's called.
Yes, and her cry is, "Son of a bitch," as she mows him down. Jamie has a quiet moment, which is kind of, I suppose, a bit
Well, yeah,
key
she wanders over and holds his hand because he's like dead, and she goes, "Oh, right."
But I think that's key for the next film because there seems to be there's a connection made.
Yes.
Anyway, the Tyne arrive and shoot him.
Yeah, rednecks to the rescue as always with guns, so that's always a good thing.
And I think the law arrives. Well, the police officers.
Fuck the police.
Because the sheriff with his shotgun.
Yeah, whatever. Has he realised his daughter's hanging it off a wall with a shotgun through her?
Well, that's why he's there to...
He could have done... Would have been good if he'd had got the shotgun with his daughter hanging off it.
Still, with her hanging off.
And he has to pump it with her body. They blow the fucking living shite out of him and he falls backwards into a big pit, ready for a sequel.
They send him back to hell.
Yeah, do the bombs.
He's not a man. He's an evil, relentless fucker. Back at the Crovers after the event, we've got the first-person mask over the face, like 78. Mrs. Carruthers is running a bath. She screams. She screams. She screams. Then Loomis is there shouting, "No! No! No!" Because it turns out it's Jamie who's killed or attacked.
Which replicates the beginning. And this bit is okay.
I think it was okay.
Well, actually, it's better than okay. It's better than the rest of the fucking film. And I'll tell you now, it got an extra star off me just for this bit. You knew it was kind of happening, because at first you're not sure, why is she wearing the original outfit that Michael wore as a kid?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
You think, oh, it's a bit of a callback.
Yeah.
Good. I thought it was a good ending. Doesn't make the rest of it. Good.
Yeah.
Good ending. No, I do realise, and I haven't seen 5 for a while, I do realise I can't remember how the fuck it carries it on. But maybe next Halloween we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I have watched it recently. Yeah, it doesn't.
Kind of disregards
I kind of almost wished it was never going to do this, but I almost wished it, in some ways, it started the cycle again, maybe. But it doesn't do that, obviously. And
she's running around as a little kid.
Well, there's lots of things that have happened with this franchise since this film, it's irrelevant what it did anyway, I suppose.
It's as complicated as some of the timelines on fucking the multiverse for Marvel, isn't it? In terms of how it intertwines. Because you've got Halloween 1 and 2, then it goes 4, 5 and 6. Then you've got the Rob Zombie Halloween 1 and 2.
Oh, no. Then you've got H2O, Halloween Resurrection and H2O, the 10-year one.
Yeah, which H2O doesn't follow on from 4, it follows on from 2.
And Jamie Lee Curtis returned.
Yes, because she's not dead.
Yeah.
But like you say, then she's in Resurrection, so it sort of skips, even though Resurrection is called 7 or 6. Again, it's fucking nuts, isn't it?
And then the final 3 films forget everything that's happened since the
first one.
Or second, does it?
No, it doesn't even count the second one in at all.
So it's been all over the place. Yeah. So it's not worth, again, worrying too much about what happened. It is what it is, but I agree. I thought the
good ending was good.
Was the good bit.
Yeah. And I kind of like the way that Loomis goes mental. His acting, Donald, bless him, was a bit over the top. But, you know, at the end of the first one where he just looks out the window and goes, "No." Well, he doesn't go, "Oh." But yeah, but he craps himself and Jamie Lee Curtis is too busy crying. In this one, he goes nuts.
Yes, that's it.
That's it.
Let's review the film. Let's review the film we've just talked about.
Okay. You know, something out of all the films we've done, I was, even though there's worse films that we've done, I was sort of, it could have been I was about to say a TV movie, but that doesn't mean the same anymore, I suppose. It was just bland, I think. And that, out of everything, I think we both have a problem when it's bland.
Yes.
If it's really shit, we're in. Obviously, and if it's really good, or just really different, we haven't seen anything, or weird. This was just, for me, given that one of my favourite films of all time is Halloween, it was such a pale imitation. It looked like it'd been traced by a 2-year-old with a brown crayon. That's how bad an imitation it was.
It had lost so much of the original.
Oh Jesus! You could have called it something else, and it wouldn't have mattered. Again, except for the ending, you're probably thinking, "God, he's going to destroy this." But because I like Halloween so much, I'll probably give it a bit more than I should. But I give it 1 extra star because of that ending. Because that ending is pretty damn good, actually. So I give it 4.
Okay. A very white face. That's it.
Right, that's it.
Some of the scares are okay. Some of them miss by a distance. And actually, I said something similar about the second film, but the second film's a far better film.
Oh, yeah.
This is really just a kind of quite a predictable 80s slasher. I mean, of the 13 Halloween films, this definitely isn't the worst. And actually, I have to say, and I know you won't agree with this, of the recent Halloween Kills and Ends, I prefer this to both of them. And I know they're grittier and gorier, but I did not like them at all. I liked the 2018 Halloween, but I did not like those two. So I don't think this is the worst.
See, I didn't mind Halloween Kills. I think that got unfairly slagged off.
Well, do you know what? The mob element of Halloween Kills annoyed me far more than this. This was just disposable.
I suppose I like that. Then he went mental and just starts killing them. I quite like that.
But the whole run up to it, where that guy threw himself from the window. I did not like.
I
that.
agree.
Yeah. Anyway, but my God, in this film, Michael is such a clot as well. I mean, he clomps around. He's clumsy. He's not what it should be, which is he's that kind of evil thing that you kind of catch in the background.
Well, again, it didn't really. In the second one, it wasn't as good, but in the first one, the way he moves is weird. In this, it's just a bloke.
He's just lumbering around.
Yeah.
He's a clot.
Yeah.
Again, when Loomis says he's not a man anymore, he's the embodiment of evil. Relentless evil. He just seemed like a big clumsy oaf, a big clunker. So. It's, I say in here, I mean, the state and the obvious, it's definitely not a classic.
No.
like the original.
At all.
No, I was a bit more generous because I saw it about bang in the middle. I said 5, but I think I am being overly generous because I think Halloween sits at the top end, and I think some of the newer ones, and I think the ones that came immediately after this, kind of fall way below that.
Well, I see, I haven't seen 5 for a while, but I do remember thinking it was better than 4, but I haven't seen it for a while, so we'll have to discuss this in a year's time again.
Yeah, I think it got tainted with even more kind of 80s. It felt like an MTV video, I think, from what I saw anyway.
I don't know,
but
maybe I was that disappointed with 4. I thought, 5's going to be a bag of shit, and I went, it's not as bag of shit-ish.
You have to bear in mind as well, which may have influenced this, which is a bit naughty of me. I had watched Halloween Ends just before this, so I came out of that, I would have, and we're not going to review that.
Some people really quite like. Well, I was going to say love it. I don't think anyone loves it, but they say, I'm going to say it tried something different. Absolutely agree, but it's a Halloween film, so what the fuck are you playing at?
For me, I'm okay with it trying to take it in a new direction or trying to reinvigorate it, but to have him in a storm sewer or whatever it was, get fucked. But anyway, so I give it 5. It probably generous,
I was toying with it because I was thinking, do I give it 2 points for the ending? Because I really like the ending of Halloween 4, but it's the rest of the film now.
At the end of the day, if you're setting out to watch them all, you'll watch it anyway. You're not going to go out the way of watching this and none of the others, and this as a film, pick it at random. So, it's a 5 for me.
Yeah.
And that is our special Halloween episode.
As usual, any comments, any other films you would like us to do. But if you actually do listen to this stuff, and I can't imagine why, but if you do, if you could do, please give us a 5-star rating if you've enjoyed it. If you've not, just give us feedback. Helps us carry on doing this for the future. Thank you very much.
And also, Christmas is coming up, so if anybody's got any suggestions for a Christmas film they'd like us to review and talk about, then again, give us that feedback. Thank you. Cheers, everyone.
See ya.